start with, for both of you, your overall thoughts on the match, given the unique circumstances and the approach that you had to take today, given it was a half of a match.
You want me to go? You can start.
Yeah, it really, different and difficult circumstances, I'd say, to play a 45 minutes 48 hours ago and then coming in and kind of just playing another 45 minutes is a unique situation that you really kind of have to wrap your head around, and you got to try and win the game in 45 minutes, right? That's what we wanted to do. And so it's definitely different. You definitely have to get the right mentality for going in for only 45 minutes. But I think we did a great job of that as a group. We knew that we have a strong group, and whatever needed to happen, whether it was see a game out, try and chase the game, we had kind of plans for that. So in truth, I think we dealt with it as best as we possibly could, and I'm immensely proud of this group for that.
I think I would add, too, it's like nobody would ever, all of us, honestly, were more worried about Sav and all of that happening than the result, than playing the game, than everything. And to hear that she was okay, we're like, yeah, we can move on. But I think at the end of the day, there are things that are bigger than soccer, and I think our priority was for the care for her. And, if we could make it the game, we wanted to do that. And obviously, no one wants to play 45 minutes, take a break, play another 45. It's hard to go out there. It's hard without no fans. But I think we knew what we needed to do, and we stuck together. And, yeah, I think we grinded it out, as everybody witnessed.
So, Jess, it felt like there was space available behind Louisville's back line. What was the discussion like with Laura Harvey and the staff before you entered the match?
It's like I said, it's a really unique situation because both teams got to see the first half of the game on Sunday. And so for us, in truth, I wouldn't say much really changed, just really kind of overemphasizing what we felt and what we knew from Sunday's 45 minutes and perhaps how to be maybe a little bit better at exploiting that space. And so, yeah, that's kind of really all we kind of, yesterday was difficult, right? Yes, you're trying to prepare for this, but also you're still talking about and thinking about and hoping that Sav is okay. And so you're not really focusing on this, if you know what I mean. You're trying to, but equally you're just kind of taking in, being around everybody, supporting everybody, being with your teammates. And so for that, I think, we really didn't focus too much on, tactics, if that makes sense. I don't know. How do you?
No, yeah. I think we were on our phones yesterday and they were trying to figure out when we were going to play and train and everything. Yeah. And I think it was so chaotic and there was so much other stuff going on that when we were there for the hour that we were there, I think that's what we were focused on. But I think the rest of the time it was still obviously about Sav. But I think coming in today was for each other, for bigger reasons, for everything. And obviously we are going to watch film after everything, and it kind of helped, I guess, that we got a halftime, a 2-day halftime. But it was just working together, just seeing things and trusting each other. And at the end of the day, Jess is going to score. So
I think you've seen too that neither team made unnecessary changes from the team, obviously apart from Sav. And I think that just goes to show that both teams were comfortable and confident with what everyone had worked on kind of previously, and also probably lays into the fact that our first and foremost, our thought process was, are Louisville okay? Are their group okay? How's everybody feeling? And it's not that football wasn't a priority, but also football wasn't a priority in that moment, and we just came in today for each other, like Claude said, and just trusted all the work we'd done prior and trusted each other that, we did enough prior to get out of the game what we wanted.
So, Claudia, I think you're going to jump to second in the league in saves. and you are currently, if you like the nerdy stats, the post-shot XG minus goals against. You're second in the league there as well. You are going up against a monstrous offense next week in Kansas City. How are you looking ahead to that match? What's your mindset going into that?
I mean, I think before we even talk about that, it's like I think we give up a lot of shots, but they're always like, I'm never having to do that much. Like, if you really look at it, like a few times in a few games, I have to make a diving save. But I think our defense, our midfielder forwards have made it so easy for me that like it doesn't really feel like that. Like someone's brought that up, and it was like, I think I like face shots, but I'm never having to do that much, and I think that's a credit to all the work we put in. And obviously, like looking towards Kansas City, like everybody knows their threats. They have threats all over the field, but I think it's like we've been preparing for this all year. We know what they like. We know what we're good at. So I think limiting that as much as we can. And obviously, they have, like it's going to be difficult, but I think if we push ourselves and we're ready and work together, I think we'll be good.
I'll go on the back of that because Claudia is very humble, as you can see. Claudia's been phenomenal for us this year. Yes, some of the saves she will say are routine for her, but there are also times where she does pull a save out of a behind that I'm just in awe of. She did a couple of those on Sunday, actually. And so I would just like to say that she's really grown into the position. We, really are able to rely on Claude's in our goal, which is always nice as a group to know that, okay, you can shoot from 20, 25 yards. We're okay with that because we have Claudia in goal. And I think, for me, I started my career here with hope in goal, and that's how I felt with hope in goal. And I feel exactly the same now with Claude's in goal, and I think that is one of the biggest compliments you could ever kind of have. But that's the confidence that Claudia gives us in knowing that we have her in our net, and not just saves, but with the ball at her feet too. She's an extra player for us, and I can't speak highly of this girl. She's been absolutely fantastic for us. So I will speak when Claudia can't speak and compliment herself.
So obviously the league's had some issues with injury breaks and not doing what is best for player welfare, player mental health. When it comes to how important was it that this game was able to be suspended for everyone to focus on Sav and to have everybody make sure that she was okay? So how is that break? Did that help you? Do you think that was a good decision?
I don't think anyone watching, anyone playing would have ever felt okay to go back to like normal. I guess try and make it normal in the field. Like to see someone happen like that age, that close to so many people, and like watching the reactions of her teammates and everybody. Like you never want to see something like that happen. I think when it does, it doesn't really hit you until a little bit after. But it's like soccer is a sport at the end of the day, and I think we obviously aren't super close with her, like the people on our team, but I think it's not really fair to anyone. It's not fair to Louisville. It's not fair to the fans. It's not fair to the players to like expect them to be able to come out and play their best or play focused. And I think by suspending it got the best probably out of what we could have gotten from that situation. And obviously playing 45 minutes is weird. Coming back 2 days later is weird, but I think it's the right thing to do, and I don't think anybody would ever disagree with that.
Yeah, and I think, to the league's credit, they learned, obviously, and were able to make a more informed decision after, obviously, what happened earlier this year. And so I really think that from the medical people that we had here, the league, everybody involved, I think they really did their best, and they did a great job. And, we're extremely thankful for that. I'm sure Louisville are extremely thankful for that. And at the end of the day, yes, we play football, yes, we're athletes, but first and foremost, we're human beings, we're not robots. You see anybody kind of go through what Sav had to go through, like right in front of your eyes, and as a human being, you're going to get a visceral response. So to go and try to play out a game of football, it's just pretty needless at that point. And yes, okay, obviously coming back and doing all this is weird and it's different, but ultimately, I believe it was the right decision.
All right, we'll go over here in the front, and then we'll go on Zoom.
Jess, you're able to combine with Darlene on the goal, 2 subs that kind of changed the game. What was that like coming in kind of late into what was sort of a mini game, 45 minutes? Did you approach that like any other game, or was it different circumstances?
That's Jess's favorite type of game. The 15 minutes,
Yeah.
that's our favorite type of game.
I think, honestly, it is different. The game is only 45 minutes. It probably was no different to what my role was going to be on the weekend anyway. My role was specifically, if we need to win the game, going on. And it was like, okay, that's fine. It is a different process because you warm up with a team and then it's only 45 minutes, so you warm up again and then you warm up again and then you warm up again and then you finally get on, and it's hard to get into a game like that, but Maddie did a great job. Everyone did a great job. The goal came, we switched formation, which I think really helped us too in that moment. We had more bodies higher. And it was a great team goal, great transition goal. Geordie did great, Maddie did great. Obviously different kind of circumstances to come in, but ultimately we knew beforehand kind of what our jobs were and what our roles were. And then it's just down to kind of execution at that point.
All right, we'll go over here on Zoom now to Bella. Bella, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. Weird headphones. Just for you, Jess, you scored quite a few goals since the summer and the Euros. I was just wondering if you feel like you've had any sort of like boost since the Euros, whether in form or mentally or anything like that, and if yes, why?
Great question. Honestly, I don't really know, is the truth. I think, yes, obviously going to the Euros, I felt really good within kind of myself, and my body felt great. And going to the Euros was such a amazing experience for myself. And so I think also knowing that we have the second half of the season and you kind of have to push really hard right now, it's always kind of the hardest part. I just wanted to come back and just be able to help in kind of any way possible. I really mostly feel good and have a lot of confidence when my body feels great. And coming back from the Euros, my body felt really, really good. Obviously I'd prepared for that. Maybe that has something to do with it. But equally, I've always said that, this group is really good. It is a group that brings out, I think, the best in kind of everybody and everybody's attributes, and everybody kind of, like, I like to call them superpowers. They really gel really well. And so with everybody kind of around me personally, it kind of helps my game. I'd like to say that it goes both ways, but who knows? Maybe not. But when you have that, even today, Coco and Mia are fantastic. Geordie is playing great. Everyone's doing great. Claudia's in our build-up, which is great. And so we just kind of, we've got to keep working on that now. But I think the more that we work together, I think you can see what everybody brings to this group. And it's different, but everyone brings something.